Are the Bulls trusting Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso with too many ball handling responsibilities? Is this true? Let's talk about this because this is a tweet that's been absolutely on fire since the afternoon on Tuesday. There's people liking it, there's a lot of people quoting it, there's a lot of people giving this guy hate. First off, Bulls fans, just because we're 4-0 doesn't mean that this team's perfect. Like, this team is far from perfect. We face some pretty bad teams, and the big thing right now, I know a lot of people are celebrating, is that, hey, we're 4-0. Well, the thing is, we took care of business. Like, this should just be, like, baseline standard for us. Like, it's just because we won 4 straight games against some not very good teams, we shouldn't be saying that, hey, look, we're all of a sudden a contender. A lot of people are giving this guy too much hate, but let's talk about his point here. Now, he is saying that the Bulls are giving Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso, the two main guards that they brought into this team, too many ball handling responsibilities. And when I first saw this tweet, I was like, I don't know if I really necessarily agree with this. Then goes on to say, like, the off-ball scorers like Levine and Vucevic, they can also work with the ball a lot. And this is a true statement. I do think that honestly, both of these guys have not been given the ball enough. But is it true though then that these two guys are getting too many ball handling responsibilities? And it's interesting when he says ball handling, because when he had to kind of explain a little bit farther in his thread that he means specifically like half court playmaking. Like, it's not just bring the ball up the court. It's also like the ability to make run the half court set. But we're gonna get into this video. So before we get into it, though, make sure you hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Welcome back to the TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel. I'm going to show you a play here of what he's trying to say. Like, he tweeted out a video here, what he's trying to get at. And honestly, in this video right here, he is right. Alex Caruso, this is late game situation. The Bulls obviously were kind of having a meltdown in the fourth quarter. Alex Caruso was given the ball in a pick and roll situation with 12 seconds left on the shot clock. I mean, you have Levine, you have DeRozan. Alex Caruso should not be handling the ball. But you see that he runs the top of the key pick and roll with Nikola Vucevic. This is the last dude that really should be running a pick and roll in this situation. He is 100% right. In this specific possession, Jackson Frank is 100% right. And the thing is, though, is I don't think that this is like the case throughout the entire games or the entire season. Like, Alex Caruso, I mean, yeah, this was a terrible play. It's poor IQ on the Bulls players on the court. It's poor IQ by Donovan. But this isn't something that we see consistently, right? Alex Caruso plays in the second unit, and the second unit is run by DeMar DeRozan. So we don't see Alex Caruso be a main ball handler, even when he's playing the majority of his minutes in the second unit. Like, he's not even really running the offense in that unit that much as either. So while I agree with this specific play, I don't agree with the overall statement, like what he's saying here, that the Bulls are giving Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso too many ball handling responsibilities. I disagree with that statement. And this is coming from a person that says that Lonzo Ball is more of a wing. And I know a lot of people have, come at me about this, but at the end of the day, I'm going to show you again that I honestly think the Bulls are using Lonzo Ball correctly, and he's playing perfectly fine, which is interesting because I think they're playing Lonzo Ball very similarly to what he played in New Orleans, and even more so, I think he's even playing more off ball with the Bulls, and that's totally fine in my opinion. I tweeted this out saying that it's like I do find it pretty funny that a lot of people are now kind of realizing like Lonzo shouldn't be the half court initiator, right? When the game slows down or like you're running a half court set, like Lonzo should not be your playmaker. He shouldn't be your main guy. He can bring the ball up the court, but honestly, I don't even really want that. If it's a half-court set, I want DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine bringing the ball up. And you run the offense through those guys. They set the tempo, they get the guys ready, and then they're part of the primary action. But his point of LaVine and Vucevic not getting the ball enough, I do agree with that, especially late-game situation, that I think both those guys haven't really gotten the ball enough and haven't had the time to work with the ball enough. And I think if you give those guys some more opportunities, then you're going to see a little bit better results from them. But I go on to say this, though. I think Lonzo Ball should 100% have the ball in his hands when it comes into transition opportunities. One of the things that we're seeing from the Bulls this season is that in transition, we're just going, right? We want to play fast, and I think the perfect person to play that type of basketball is Lonzo Ball. You want Lonzo Ball to have the ball when it's a transition opportunity. He's the guy that you want running down the middle of the court with the ball, and then he's going to make the perfect pass to his teammates. Like, I think Lonzo in transition should have the ball all the time. And I call him one of the best players in transition in the NBA. But when it comes to half-court initiating, I don't think he should have that many opportunities to be the half-court initiator or the primary playmaker. And I say this as well, which is a lot of Bulls fans at the start of this season were saying, we're going to use Lonzo the right way, because a lot of talk, even Lonzo said in his press conference, like, he thinks that he hasn't been used properly in his time in New Orleans, and a lot of Bulls fans are like, oh, we're going to use Lonzo right. He's going to be the main PG. But if you look at the stats, right now we're actually using Lonzo more off ball, which is what his role was in New Orleans, right? We're actually using Lonzo more as what he was in New Orleans. So it's kind of interesting to see how Bulls fans went from, we're going to use Lonzo the right way, and we're thinking we're using Lonzo the right way, but honestly, we're using him more like how he was used in New Orleans. So I'm going to show you what I'm trying to say here. By the way, like, this has been such a big thing right now on Twitter. We have a lot of Lonzo stans. And look, I understand, personally, I like Lonzo Ball, but a lot of Lonzo stans right here, especially this guy, this dude is like, if you just look at his Twitter threads, it's just Lonzo. It's Lonzo constantly. It's all about Lonzo. It's only about Lonzo. And this drives me insane, because apparently a lot of Lonzo stans, they're like, he's a PG. Stop saying he's not a PG. And this dude even has a YouTube channel where it's literally just all Lonzo Ball highlights, and he's just like, look, Lonzo's a point guard. Lonzo's a point guard. I'm like, this is a little too far. Like, this is the definition of just absolute. I'm not going to say a different word, but I'm going to just say it's a pretty crazy stand of Lonzo Ball, which is a little insane in my opinion. But I want to kind of show you some stats. I want to show you that, like, I'm actually backing this up, right? Or let's go to video first. I mean, right here, like, this is the game against New Orleans. Now, this is something that I think Lonzo needs to work on, because I think anybody can run a pick and roll set, but this is good right here. I mean, look, obviously the defense really did not do a good job. They all went with the other guys for some odd reason in this play. It was a horn set. They all went with either Williams or Vucevic. So, but Lonzo needs to, like, be aggressive at all times, and this is good right here. He needs to drive to the rim. So this is good to see from him. But I always talk about transition opportunities with Lonzo Ball. Like, this is a transition opportunity. This isn't a half-court set. This is just, let's go. And Lonzo's like, okay, let's go. And he pushes the ball down the middle of the court, as you should. He's looking for whoever's running with him, and he sees that DeMar DeRozan's open because the Pelicans did not pick him up, and this is just classic Lonzo Ball in transition. I think this is where he's at his best. This is where he should have the ball in his hands, right? But as we continue through this, and this is his triple-double game, and a lot of people are like, look, he got 10 assists, he's a PG. I'm like, well, when you really look at how many assists that he got, count how many were created by him, and count how many were actually created by his teammates, right? Like, assists in transition are nice, but is it really him creating that, open shot or open layup for his teammate, or is it the transition opportunity creating that open shot? Or maybe it's even a half-court set where he just has the ball, but you see teammates, getting themselves open, and then he gets them the ball, which I think he's, one of the best passers in the league. Again, transition opportunity. Best in the league in the transition, in my opinion. This is just perfect, right? He didn't even have the ball in his hands initially, but he got the ball and then passed it right back to Javonte Green, which is another assist. But again, where is this assist coming from? Is it he setting up, his teammates, or is it the transition opportunity, making that assist? This right here, I mean, this was I believe he may have taken a dribble on this three, but he ended up missing it. But it was then a rebound by Leslie Johnson, and then look, catch and shoot opportunity, hence off ball, right? So my point in this video is to kind of show you that I disagree with this. I don't think the Bulls are actually giving Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso too many ball handling responsibilities, but I'm also trying to make the point here that this dude's not a point guard, really. Like, especially in the half-court set, like, he really just isn't the guy that should be handling the ball most of the time, especially in half-court situations. Right here, this is a half-court set, but this is one of those plays where it's Levine backdoor cut. But again, is this Levine creating his own shot here, or is this Lonzo creating a shot for Levine? Now, obviously, the pass has to be on target, and that's what Lonzo does perfectly well in this game. Like, Lonzo is going to get the ball on target all the time. and this is a fantastic pass by him, but LaVine created that shot, right? This isn't Lonzo creating a shot for LaVine. It's LaVine creating his opportunity by cutting hard to the rim, and hence Lonzo gets the assists, right? But I think this is also just a definition of like showing this isn't like Lonzo Ball isn't handling the ball that much. And this is what I think should happen with the Bulls. You're seeing right here, this is a DeMar DeRozan pick and roll, top of the key, but Lonzo's a screener. It's not Lonzo Ball handling the ball here. It's DeMar DeRozan. Lonzo's setting the screen. DeMar DeRozan then does a spin to get out of the initial hedge defense, and Garrett Temple has to come on over. And then look, it's a catch and shoot opportunity for Lonzo Ball. And this is where he's at his best. Continuing this idea of catch and shoot opportunities, which is where Lonzo's at his best. Right here, pick and roll on the side here. You see LaVine get double teamed. He passes it over to Lizzie Johnson. He then swings it over to Troy Brown Jr., who's wide open. And then you swing it over to Lonzo Ball, who is wide open, catch and shoot opportunity 3. Right? This is what we see constantly from Lonzo Ball, is that he is going to be a catch and shoot spot up shooter and hit the 3 ball. He's not going to be, running off the screen, Damian Lillard style, pick and roll and then shoot a pull up 3. That's not his game, right? He's going to get his 3-point opportunities from other guys creating open shots for him, and then he's going to catch that ball and knock it down. And if you really want to see the stats here, I'm going to show you. So first off, I want to show you usage percentage. You can look up usage percentage in your own time, but basically it's the idea of how often does a team use this player for plays. And Lonzo Ball this season, I know it's 4 games, but this season he's at 17.6% usage percentage. Now, people are already thinking like, well, okay, but aren't the Bulls using him more than he was using New Orleans? And if you look at the usage percentage, and this I'm going to go back to last season, honestly, it's not the case. His usage percentage last season, I know it's 55 games compared to 4, but his usage percentage last season was actually higher right now, or higher than what it is right now. So if you look at this, you're like, okay, so he's actually not being used as often as he was in New Orleans. I know it's a small sample size, but the idea is that he's still being used very similarly to what his role was in New Orleans. And to continue the whole, he's a catch and shoot guy, he's playing off ball more. I mean, look at the amount of shots that he's made. He's made a total of 21 shots in the season, but you can see right here, most of his shots are assisted, and not only that, 12 of his 15 made assisted shots were three-point shots. And to continue just looking at how many people assist for him to make the shot. I mean, look at how many people have given Lonzo Ball an open shot and then he takes it and knocks it down. Like, especially look at DeMar DeRozan, which I think kind of shows you that DeMar DeRozan is by far probably the main ball handler on this team right now, and that's what you want. DeMar DeRozan is a very good player in half court situations, and he's an incredible playmaker in that situation as well. Hence, then you move almost 39 or 40% 3-point shooter Lonzo Ball, move him over to the corner or move him to the wing. He's really effective in that situation, and I think that's how the Bulls should be using him, to continue just showing like, hey, Lonzo is being a catch and shoot guy. He's not creating his own shots, right? I mean, look, catch and shoot opportunities, 52% of his shots that he takes is a catch and shoot shot. He's shooting a little bit more pull-ups than usual, which is actually good to see, but he hasn't exactly been like that efficient with it, because a lot of these are not really considered pull-ups, but I'll show you in a little bit here. But 0 dribble shots, 60%. I mean, this is extremely high. This isn't normal for a PG, right? But again, I'm trying to point out, like, I don't think that they're giving Lonzo Ball too many ball handling responsibilities, but I also don't think that they're using him too much, like, as a PG, right? And then just you look at the amount of time he has the ball in his hands, it's very low, right? And a lot of this is like the transition opportunities where he just catches it and immediately passes it again. But even in half-court set, you see he doesn't have the ball a lot in his hands. So I'm not really sure about this whole tweet right here. So it's definitely very interesting to me. And I just want to compare it lastly to DeMar DeRozan. I mean, DeMar DeRozan, his usage percentage is at 28.9%. Again, if you're going to look at Lonzo's usage percentage of this season, we're looking at 17%, right? And this is DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is almost at 30% for usage percentage. And to just kind of show you a little bit more, like, this is more the guy that isn't going to be, spotting up and playing off ball. As you can see, the catch and shoot opportunity is only at 10%, right? You're not going to see DeMar DeRozan be playing off ball that often, but a lot of his pull-up shots, right, as we saw. But the main thing I'm looking at right here is the difference in the frequency of, like, 1 dribble shots, 2 dribble shots, or 3 to 6 dribble shots. As you can see, this is extremely high. You go over to Lonzo here, where, you go over to Lonzo here, as you can see, literally 60% of his shots that he takes is off of 0 dribbles, right? That's normal. That's normal for Lonzo Ball. Right here, this is what DeMar DeRozan is. And I understand DeMar DeRozan is going to be taking more shots in general, but I'm just pointing out here that he has the ball in his hands more. Like, he's clearly dribbling the ball more because he's dribbling all this time and then taking shots off those dribbles, right? And as you also can see, the time that he touches the ball is obviously much higher. With Lonzo, right, he doesn't have the ball in his hands that often. But then you go over to DeMar, you see he has the ball in his hands a lot more. So I'm just wanting to make this video because a lot of people are like, they're either saying like, oh, he's been giving the ball too much, or they're people like this dude who's like, no, what are you talking about? He doesn't play off ball at all. This dude is constantly playing on ball, and he's a PG. Why can't there just be middle ground here? I think this could be an easily middle ground area for all Bulls fans, because I think Lonzo Ball is being used properly this season. I mean, we are seeing him in these lineups where he can guard multiple positions. You're seeing him in lineups where he has other creators on the floor so that he can just be a spot-up shooter, which is where he scores most of his points. Like, that's okay, and that's how we should be using Lonzo. But this is also kind of going back to my point when the whole Lonzo stuff was coming out initially for the Bulls, I was like, I wasn't a big fan of getting Lonzo Ball because a lot of people were saying Lonzo's going to come in and fix our playmaking issue. But I'm like, no, he is not. Lonzo is not going to come in and fix our playmaking issue. He's going to fix our three-point shooting issue. He's going to fix our defensive issues. But he isn't going to come in and fix our playmaking issues, because then it still just leaves LaVine as the only playmaker in the half-court set. That's the reason why DeMar DeRozan is here and why he's so important to this team. As we saw in crunch time, specifically in crunch time, where Lonzo doesn't, like, he barely touches the ball in crunch time, which he literally becomes a wing player in crunch time, which is, I think, what should happen. And this is how it's been throughout his entire career. Go back and watch Pelicans games. Lonzo doesn't really touch the ball in crunch time. But my point is that in crunch time, you see that he's off ball, and you're seeing the importance of DeMar DeRozan, a guy that can play make in the half-court set, and we don't just have to depend on LaVine to be our only playmaker in the half-court. So that's my thoughts on this very interesting topic I want to make a video on. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Bulls play on Thursday, so I'll be doing a preview of the Knicks versus Bulls game then. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.